Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. So this one is going to be a little bit about my thinking process, how I just get it all out. And I'm a big believer in, at the end of the day, no matter how many mentors and coaches and influencers and inspirational speakers and pastors and spiritual leaders, or did I say gurus, or experts, or anyone out there encourages you to consider, think about this, think about that, swaying you one way or the other. It's great to get, wisdom from, especially, I'm a big one on, if they got some years on you, they might know a little something. If you admire their stance in life, their status, who they are and how they move, there's something to be take into consideration. But at the end of the day, all your answers are within you. You just maybe don't know where they are, what they look like, what they sound like. And I have to remind myself of that. I can get into, I'm a Virgo, all of the details and all of the mulling over and like, okay, what about this? What about that? Oh, and then I got notebooks everywhere, scribbles. And if it ain't in a notebook, it's on like a little post-it sheet, or, a napkin, or loose leaf, or something somewhere, jot it down, and I have to sometimes calm myself and remind myself that the answer is going to come. I'm going to find it. It's just a little bit of a scavenger hunt. We're just, you're just having a little fun with it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not the time to make a decision. Maybe because I think that I have to do everything right now, all at once, that is, sometimes not the best. I have to remind myself that time is on my side. I can make a calculated and genuine and paced decision. And I have to believe and tell myself and trust that, it's going to be okay. It always works out. When you have to rush, that's not the best energy. Also, too, what helps me with my decision process making, my decision making process is that, what makes me feel good. If I'm going to say yes to whatever it is and then feel anxious, panicked, small, unheard, unsupported, then how is that a good decision for me? That can't be the best move for me. If I'm going to feel, if I'm going to have regrets, if I'm going to do this thing grudgingly, if I've got to force myself to do things, not working, putting the effort it takes to build something long lasting, not the type of sacrifices and things that, okay, take that grit and take, sometimes it takes strategy and precision to create something. And we have these diamond analogies, how gold is formed, all these different, how crystals are developed, all these different things. We know that sometimes with the pressure and the time and all these elements and all these factors, you get something beautiful. So it's not to say that I don't think that I have to work at anything and I don't want to try at anything. But if I have to constantly I'm procrastinating again, is that the best move for me? Or if it's something that ain't nobody got to tell me how to get started. Ain't nobody got to tell me, how to move, what to do, what the deadline is, because I'm so excited about it that I do it. I'm a self-starter. I already know I want to do it. I'm excited. I'm energized. Yes, this thing is what, gets me going, gets me up in the morning or whatever. I think about it. I can't wait to start. I can't wait to all those things. That's another thing that I remind myself of. What is the vibe here? What am I feeling when I think about it? For example, no one has to tell me, you might want to put some makeup on and, put your best face forward and, pull out your favorite clothes. I know that is my coffee, makeup, my vibe, my look, and then the day gets started. And I mean that it could be 11 o'clock. It could be 3 o'clock. I ain't dotting that door until I feel like I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? And so But no one has to tell me to do that. So when I think back on major decisions, I'm like, look, if I know I'm going to be a procrastinator, why am I signing myself up for that too? Because that's going to create more issues. So I have to be honest with myself, and I have to think these things through. And then sometimes on all my little, pages and notebooks and stuff like that, I will put the columns. Like, okay, option 1, option 2, option 3, outcome, goal, results, desired results, worst case scenario, best case scenario, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to try to put it out, flush it all out, get it out your head, and you can see it on the paper. If you need to use those little circles, the little webs, the goal in the middle, and then all your little branches and other bubbles around it, and fill them in. Mind mapping, or I think that's what they call it. I don't know. I just know sometimes I've used that diagram to kind of, again, flesh it all out. What's another one? My mom, this was a while ago, she put the quarters, or you can, put your weeks or your months and kind of do a diagram like that, where it's like, okay, spring, summer, fall, or, this month, and then drop it down and write, okay, where I want to be here, what I want to be here, and it's going to lead to this, lead to that. That's how you kind of start sorting out, and that's how I kind of start sorting out, the what and the how, So, don't get overwhelmed. Don't get discouraged. And I am making this video for myself because this could fit into anything. This could fit into your career goals, your money goals, your educational goals, your life plan, your level up, shoot. Redoing your house is a process. If you know you need to do a deep clean, if you know you need to organize, get up in them cabinets, get up in the closet, get bins and throw away things and get labels and get systems in place and make a home for everything. And if that's not how you're naturally wired, or things have just gotten out of control because, your home was a reflection of what's going on in your mental, you might need a plan for that. You don't just wake up and just get it all done either. So you have to pace yourself. You have to allow yourself that grace to be like, okay, school's going to take some time. Starting a new career path, or starting a business is going to take some time. So it's not that, you feel inadequate because time isn't on your side, but you want to make the best decisions for you that make you feel the best, feel motivated, like, okay, I can do this. I see the results. I see where this is going to get me. And then you refer back to it and you're like, okay, this is it. I see it written. I'm going to go with it. You know what I mean? I'm looking this way. The camera's this way. But yeah, that'll give you more of a peace. And if you ever feel yourself swaying just a little bit, because life happens, we get distracted, we get busy, you can refer back to this, but it won't be of lack of like, I just don't want to do this shit. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because someone said I should, because that was the route they took, because, that's what they want, that's what sounds the best, looks the best. At the end of the day, you have to live the life, and you have to, live with the consequences, and not even consequences, but live with the results that you create. You know what I mean? So, and I love that one. Let's use relationships, for example. You ain't got to be with them. You ain't got to sleep with them. That's her bed that she's laying in. So you make sure that the bed you made and the situation that you set up for yourself is optimal for you. And everybody else on the outside looking in can't speak on it. Can't comment on it. Can't have a opinion one way or the other unless he is knocking you upside the head and you are unsafe and you clearly are in danger emotionally, physically, financially, you know what I mean? And everyone's just kind of like, yeah, like we can't even ignore this huge, situation you got going on in your life. He's clearly bringing you down. That's the only time I have an A-okay with anybody speaking on anyone's life. And there was a time when my life was kind of up and down, and my family was like, what are you doing? We're concerned for you. And it's like, I'm okay. I'm just, early 20s when I was out in these streets, you know what I mean? And I wasn't making safe decisions. I wasn't moving in my best interest. So yeah, parents, grandparents, aunties, friends, girl, what are you doing? Sometimes you need those wake up calls, but once you know what you want and you're confident about the new changes, when it's foreign and it's new in a sense of like, oh, we don't know about that, that's a risk. Oh, that's just living too good, it's a little too big of a dream. Oh, that's just a little bit too too peaceful, too chill, too easy. That's when you have to start really leaving people out of your circles, out of your business, and out of your final decisions, because some people are small-minded. So there's a difference there. There's a difference in the counsel. There's a difference in the, like, are they holding you back, or do they have your best interests at heart because you're at danger, So that's why I draw the line with getting advice and all that stuff, people in your ear, even the devil and the angel on your shoulder. Different parts of you may be so afraid of the success and what could just be so for you, and you're still thinking so small-minded that, you might have to, work on those thoughts and those beliefs, but that's a whole nother story. So this is how I kind of flush things out. And if you're growing, when you're constantly wanting to, improve, you're going to have these things that come up, and they're going to push you to higher heights, to new levels, and to your best self. And it's okay to get to a plateau and relish in that. So let's use money, for example. Someone that works hard and does what she has to do and gets to $100,000 a year, I know she feels pretty good about herself. However she got there, she can, rest in that and still have be the man if that's what she wants, and take care of her. And her money is play money. That's where she has arrived, and that was her goal. Then after you do that for a couple years, you might reach some new goals, and you'd be like, you know what? I'll be a millionaire. I can duplicate this a couple times over. I'm gonna set my kids up. Now I got kids in college, so that money's gonna go there. Do a little bit of philanthropy, do a little bit of giving back and mentoring or teaching, volunteering. Start another business. Maybe I'll put this in another state, put this over. You know what I mean? So that's the excitement when you're like, all right, I'm ready for something else. What else is there? You decide that time frame. You decide, do I want to rest here for a year, 5 years? When a woman has a baby, okay, you're all in the warm, fuzzy feelings of it. It's all up to you. Like, she's crawling, she's eating her little food, she's, communicating. I have a great support system. I can have someone come and play with her during the day, and I start, branching out and doing some things. Or I could not. I could still keep taking this time to do the mommy thing. They hit kindergarten. Okay, she's going to school. She's a big girl. She transitioned great. Now I've got, how many hours are they at school? I've got all day. So do I want to still do the stay-at-home mommy thing? Do I want to work from home? Do I want to get out in the workforce? Do I want to volunteer at her school? Do I want to take that time to just do self-care? I could go to the gym 3 days out of the week, and whatever. I can read. I can watch TV. What do I want to do with my time? Do I want to go back to school? Do I want to, did I say start my own business? Each level of motherhood, or each phase of motherhood, is going to present a series of questions that are going to, like, what do you want to do? Because now you've got options. And whichever way you choose, do you feel good in that decision? So for the moms that are like, oh my God, I don't want to leave my baby. I can't fathom the thought of leaving her at 1 year old for any reason. Okay, mom, then stay home with the baby. Don't cry about it. Just, if that's your resolve, great. Be with someone that can support you in that decision. Y'all work out your finances, or, whatever. And then, be secure in that. For the mom that's like, oh my God, I'm bored out of my brains. I want to do more. Honey, do more. Don't stay home. What feels good to you? Or what do you feel like, oh my God, this unnecessary pressure to force yourself to do something, So every phase, when your kids get to middle school, high school, you might be more hands off with the homework and the volunteering. They might not want you coming up there doing all this stuff. So you really might have more time. College, by then they're moving out. So that's going to change how your days feel, how your days move, your availability, your time, all that. What do you want? And what can what makes you feel empowered, and what makes you feel happy? That's where all decisions should flow from. That's how we should base all of this. Not this, self-sacrificial. Someone said that working moms are, or someone said the stay-at-home moms are, or someone said that women that are working in the careers that they love, or the field that they love. Someone said, or my husband said, or my mom said, or my dad said, or my pastor said, and on and on and on and on and on. It's easy to fall back into, I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, your money, your time, your peace is the most important thing, and your happiness. It's your life. And until you get someone, I can't wait for the first person to come up and put this on the internet and be like, I want y'all to know that I got a group of people that were so opinionated on my life and what I should be doing, that they all went out and did all the things that they suggested. And then they come report back to me. And not only that, they pay me. And I'm earning a commission for all of their opinions and suggestions and contributions to my life. I'm going to be like, wow. Like if you had a dime, shoot, more than a dime, $1 for everyone out here signing up to be like, I'd like to play the role of the working mom in your life here. And when I start making the, what's that here? $19.75 as a CNA at your local hospital. I'll let you know when I get my first paycheck, and I'll be giving that to you. And also the overtime that I think you should be making, I'll also report that once I get approved for that. And then if we have any more COVID spikes or anything like that, I'll be sure to get that to you. And then the next person. It says here you're auditioning for the single mom with all the utilities and bills and all the weight of that, everything like that. So what I'm gonna do is gonna get another lease in your name, turn on all the utilities, your car note, your car insurance, and I'll be sure to figure out how to do all that. And then all the costs, that should come up to about almost $3,000 a month. I'll be sure to get that to you. Okay. All right. And the next person. Okay. It says here you need to go back to college to get your master's in something or other. We don't know what you're going to do with it, but it'd just be good for you to do. So whatever your student loans and financial aid doesn't cover, and tuition costs and books and things like that. Not to mention the time that it's going to take to study and do all this. We'll be sure to do that for you, and then write you a check for that. I could go. Oh, and it says here you need to cook and clean and slave away and do all these domestic things, because that also is your value as a woman. We'll be sure to calculate the time that it takes for you to do that. Laundry for everyone in your household. Any random messes that they may leave. I could go on and on and on. You know what I mean? Like, yes, pay me for what you think I should be doing. Yes, make sure you give it all to me. No, thank you. No, you will never see someone. Because don't forget, these people got their nose in the air sometimes. Don't forget, they somehow feel like, they are the authority on life and your life and life in general, and have all the answers. And they're just so successful and so happy and so fulfilled that they need to come over here and get in your business. And, now whether you're volunteering this stuff or not, that's a whole nother story. Because there's some people that just can't move in silence. It's like it just pains them to know that they have options, they have rights, they have all these things. Like, You can live your life in private. You don't have to put on Facebook. You don't have to put on social media, your Instagram, or anywhere to run it by anybody for someone to say something about it. And it's almost like you're attracting more of that. How you parent, whatever. So that's another thing to like, let's look at, what you're creating here. But really, this originally started for more so the women that like, they're pretty confident that they want to make a decision, just don't know how to make the decision. What does decision making feel like? What is, what is that? What does that entail? Take your time, cut yourself some slack. When you know, it's going to be like a light bulb, and you will know and you will feel it. It'll pulse through the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, and you'll be like, yes, I can't wait to get started. Yes, this is it. This is it. This is the answer. Oh my God. Yes. It's not going to be like, Jesus, okay, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Oh God. No, I can't. Oh my God, okay. It's not. It shouldn't. God. No. When you get a tattoo, you're like, oh, yes, I picked my tattoo. I'm going to be so cute. You sit down and give them your arm, and you're like, it hurts. Oh, my God. But it's going to be cute, though. I'm so excited. That's the same example. You might have to do some things to, they don't feel too great, little crunch, the little sting of something new, something stretching you, something testing your faith and your belief in yourself and your consistency, and are you a quitter, and all these things. I didn't say hustle. I didn't say grind. I didn't say to the point of exhaustion where you are an unrecognizable and you are not a woman anymore. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that, within reason. Okay, you got to try a little bit. Try. And we're resilient. The way our body snaps back after just a little things, from a headache to childbirth, we got that in us. So, once you get to that sting of the tattoo, I'm back to the tattoo, you're like, it's beautiful. I love it. And then it's fragile. You got to care for it. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. No, it's wrapped up, whatever. But when it's healed and it's good to go and it's set, you're out here, you fly, you cute, and you're going to get all the compliments, and everybody, the whole world going to see your work, your creation, the fruits of all of your labor. And that's with anything. So, that's all the examples I got. Y'all see, I got tattoos, so that kind of popped up out of nowhere. But I hope that example makes sense of just how to do this thing. And just don't quit. It's the quitting that really sets a lot of people to believe that none of this works, and that life isn't fair, and only certain people get certain things. Only women that don't have kids, or only white people, or only people that, I don't know, have degrees, or, have come from money, or, I don't know, whatever limiting beliefs there are out there of like, well, it's easy for you to say because, like, try me, you know what I mean? Because for any myth of what shouldn't be possible, I'm very comfortable in saying that for the middle class, whatever that means, on an actual like technical definition. I'm comfortable and I'm happy with what I worked hard to get. Not get, create, allow, believe that I deserve, chose. So whenever I saw anything that didn't look like what I wanted, I'm like, no, thank you. No, I'm not going to go over here and do that. Let me use last example. Let's use, for some of us, we work. I'm not going to stay at a job that makes me miserable and doesn't pay me even close to what I believe I am worth within the scope of my career. So at the time when I was a CNA, they could make from $14 to almost $20 an hour. Now, am I going to go somewhere? Oh, and they're the eyes and the ears of the nurse. And they're an integral part of the healthcare team. And blah, 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 blah. So am I going to go somewhere that pays $12 an hour and they treat the CNAs like shit and they don't have a work-life balance or even anything close to it? Now, I get it. I've had some days where I had to work holidays and I had to work weekends, boo-hoo me. But I'm talking like work you ragged 10 days a week. Yes, I said it. Crazy stuff. Or 24-hour shifts and all this, abuse. Am I going to now, even if the interview process is a breeze and they hire me and I don't know all the underlying issues of this establishment, once I see just the inkling of some BS that I'm like, wait a minute now. Oh no, I don't like this treatment. I don't like this vibe. I don't like these coworkers. I love the patients, but everything else, I do. Am I going to stay there and not only that, continue to complain and then cry boo-hoo because I don't have what I say I want? This job ain't shit. This pay ain't shit. Now, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? That's another thing that I hear a lot of when I talk to people about, where they are, but where they say they want to be. Let's keep it real. You can't say you want something for yourself and do another. So we have to take responsibility as adults because no one is tying you ball and chain, dragging you into these jobs. Now, when my hospital, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. When my hospital presented everyone with the choice to receive the poke or not, in order to stay employed with that organization, I understood their stance. They have every right to present, what they want everyone to have. But you're not going to force me to do anything. No one is going to drag me down the hall downstairs to put anything in my body. So what did I do? I wrote my stance. I wrote how I felt. I wrote my position. And then I left it alone. And no one fired me or dragged me anywhere to do anything. So this whole thing of, I didn't have a choice. They made me, I can't quit. I can't leave. I can't speak up for myself. I can't, create the change I want to see. Bullshit. I couldn't wait for them to say, we've laid you off. Because I'm like, lawsuit. I'm going to make more running through y'all for trying to encroach on my birthright and my free will than anything. I'll make more than everybody. And they were offering incentives and bonuses and all these things. And the deadline would be this date. And then they'd, did you get your, because and I'm like, what I do know for certain is that I haven't contracted anything. I'm an integral part of my unit. I am the only CNA on this floor. I'd want to say 80% of the time. I have worked here 2 years. I have floated all over this whole hospital. And I know my value and I know what I feel. I know my convictions. I know my square. And I heard you when you said this was the first deadline. And didn't nobody send me home when I came in on that shift either without certain things in my body to protect, I don't know, patients that we weren't even a COVID unit at that time. Okay? I'm keeping it real. So the next little email. Hello, just want to remind you this is a second extension of the date to receive your such and such so that blah, blah, blah. And if not, you will be terminated. I was like, I heard you. I'm still on the schedule. The nurse manager knows my stance. I didn't get the flu shot either. So, like I said, if you go back to our previous emails, you will see, I'm wearing this pamphlet out today, that they never fired me. They approved my exemption and life went on. COVID went down and I still loved being a CNA. I love my hospital. What I didn't love was how more and more and more, I'm like, okay, this is great, but my life is heading in this direction. And it feels really good to have more of a work-life balance. It feels really good to dream about making more by doing less and having less expenses, because my rent was going up. Gas was crazy at one point. Groceries, they fluctuate. My kids, I want my kids to do activities. I want to take this trip. I want to do things. And so it's like, everybody knows that lifestyle creep. So, I made some decisions, and they weren't hard decisions to make because they felt good. I felt empowered. I was like, I can do this. I can do this. Someone else can take my place. Someone else can be a CNA. I love being a CNA. I have poured into my community and this organization, and I never was that weak. I have a lot of pride in my work ethic. I also have a lot of pride in the life I'm living now. So don't let anyone come along and bully you and have an opinion about what they don't have to get up and do for you. So you get your mind made up. You don't waver in that. No dream is too big. You make sure you are at the center of all your decisions, and you go from there. And your babies, don't forget the babies. We can't forget the babies. Or your future babies. If this is the thing where you're like, look, I'm 38. I want to start a family. And this is what I want. Do not waver. Do not waver. Not for your job, not from your grandma, not for this dude that just says he loves you so much and works at McDonald's. If that don't look like what you want, then we've got to know how to walk away and be okay with that. Where is this guilt coming from? I know we're nurturers. I know, we care about everything and everyone, but that caring doesn't pay the bills and doesn't add years onto your life and take those wrinkles away from all that stress and worrying. And it definitely isn't reciprocal. It definitely doesn't come back like, oh, thank goodness I'm just being flooded and, by all the things that I, cared about. They don't care about you at the end of the day. Now, I have no doubt that, I know other hospitals, for example, fired a lot of employees, and my heart goes out to them. But it'd be better to be terminated because, you did what you wanted to do than to have regrets later. It'd be better for that man to dump you and be like, I don't want kids, and I definitely don't think it's a good idea if you stay at home with our newborn. I ain't about that. You let him dump you. It'd be better for friends to pull away and people to be disapproving and whisper behind your back than to be you being a good girl and running out here wearing all these hats for all these opinions. You crying every day, dropping your baby off at the daycare that you don't like, that costs an arm and a leg, that costs more than you bring home after taxes and fees and all these other stupid things. And then every day your baby got that runny nose. I mean, you're just dying inside. You don't get the baby till 6, 7 o'clock at night. It's time for dinner, time for tubby time, and got to get up and do it all over again. If that's not what you want, why? There are no rewards out here. What will they say? What's the motto? YOLO. I don't know. Anyway, I'm done. Take your time. Choose you. Choose you. Choose you. Decide you. That's the easiest answer. I said all this to say choose you. Into the next one. Peace. Bye.